let's try again. I've got the correct stream key. I've hit the button, it says live, and YouTube says it's starting soon. Awesome. Okay. And I can go ahead and somehow pause that. There we go. Great! It worked. We're live. Amazing. Boop. Boop. And let's announce that we're live. And then let's see what this warning message says. Frames detected, 14% a few seconds ago. Just one of them. Ugh. Well, that's probably because I'm outside. Hopefully it won't be a big deal. Hey, Haley McNeil, how you doing? Everybody can see me, can hear me, everything's good. I hope it's using the correct microphone, not the shitty one. Should be at least as good as it was inside. Let me double check on that. Yep, up on the screen here, because I don't need my face. I know what my face looks like. So I'm going to make the chat nice and huge from YouTube directly, which should also solve the much aligned problem of seeing top chat. Actually, it still says top chat, so I'll go live chat. There we go. All right. Hello, great gamer. What do you mean announce? I came here beforehand probably because I clicked on subscriptions literally when you went live. I don't know either. Oh, announce in my Discord. The Discord channel is where I usually go to let everybody know when I'm about to stream, when I'm going to stream later that day, if I'm streaming now. That fucking fire went out again. Trying to burn some wood. Part of my chores today is to cut down this nasty stump. Oh fuck, I don't have water. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to go get that because I don't want to drink nothing but bourbon. Cutting down going while you're sitting on a laptop 20 feet away dicking with the internet is not easy. So I'll just let it burn out and I'll go and fuck with it later. I'll be right back. I gotta get some water and then we'll start. We'll light up. We'll drink some bourbon, etc. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. There we go. Nice big cup of water. Definitely need it out here because it is hot and humid and gross. It started to rain about 15 minutes ago. And I thought, oh, that's actually going to be great. The fire won't work, but at least I'll be, cool because the rain will keep the humidity down. There'll be a breeze or whatnot, and the rain fucking dried up again. It wasn't supposed to rain today. At least not that I know of. So, I don't think it'll start up again later. But maybe. This is the content I subbed for. We could play I Spy. Yeah, it's all fucking brick. So anyway, hi guys, welcome. Keep in mind that there is like a 10 to 20 second delay in the chat. So when you type something, it might take 20 seconds or so for me to type back. So if you have any questions that you'd like to ask or talk about, things, whatever, just go ahead and ask them. Because even if I'm in the middle of talking about something else, chances are likely that I'm going to need you to come up with something for me to talk 20 seconds from now. So that's how that's going to go. Welcome, Chop. Rip Beard. Yep. I think I mentioned it before, but maybe you weren't there because I've been doing a whole shit ton of streams lately. But Dr. Wifey does not like me without a beard. She prefers the beard. I grow the beard specifically for her. Mostly. I mean, I used to have a goatee when I was in high school and then college. And some of our early pictures together, I still have the goatee, but she preferred the nice big bushy beard. Just as long as I shave the neck area, she likes that. No one likes a neck beard. So it was getting real patchy. It wasn't coming in solid. Oh, look, it's my brother-in-law. And so I said I have to shave it off so that it grows in nice and clean again. She said, well, do it the day you get back so that by the time I'm home, you've got your beard back. So she's coming home Tuesday. So, I mean, this is literally, I cut this off Tuesday. Actually, I think I cut it off Wednesday morning. So it was, less than a week. By the time it's a week full, it'll start to look better. And, 2 weeks from now, it'll be just as glorious as it ever was. I'm going to commit a cardinal sin and actually read this text message during the stream because I think he wants me to respond. Sure, yeah, no problem. Tomorrow after I mow the lawn. Sorry about that. Okay, just need to do that. I'm going to put this on silent. How did you and Dr. Wifey meet? Hold on. Before I get into it, let's have a sip of bourbon. Let's light a cigar. This is the second one that I've had this weekend. I had one Thursday night when I came home and found the IRS message. I was like, well, I think maybe I'll just sit on the porch quietly and think about things, which I did, and it helped quite a bit. And I did say earlier, these things knock me out. So by the time I get down to about 3/4 done, I'll be all sorts of loopy. So. All right. That's good. That's the good stuff. So Dr. Wifey and I met in what I would assume used to be the classic way to meet people. Now the internet seems to have taken over that, but we met on a blind date. We had a mutual friend in college, a girl named Alicia, and I was in her math class, and we became friends in math class because she was fun. We sat next to each other. She was very outgoing. We used to joke about sex and stuff. And I helped her out with the problem she had. She was trying to convince this guy that she liked in her dorm room that she was interested in him. And I just basically told her, just fucking go tell him you're interested in him. That's what a guy really wants. They don't want a game of cat and mouse. They don't want ambiguity. They don't want you to slowly become his friend and then girlfriend. They want you to walk up to him and say, hey, I like you and I think we should fuck. And that, obviously, worked. So she felt like she owed me one. So she had a friend, a local friend, and this is when we were in Rochester. I went to RIT. And so she said, well, I know a girl who lives here in Rochester, because Alicia grew up in Rochester. And I think, you might like her. So we started talking over AOL Instant Messenger. And she seemed pretty cool. And so we went out on a blind date. It was a double date. We went with Alicia and her boyfriend, and I went with Becky together. We went out and saw a movie called House of the Dead, and holy shit, was that a bad movie. I think it was so bad that it was good, almost. It was bad. That was a garbage zombie movie, but even back then I was really into zombies and zombie movies, and so I was trying to make sure that my future wife was also a zombie fan, so... We went and saw that dumb movie and then had dinner at a diner. Went back to her place. I gave her a kiss goodnight, and Alicia and Jesus drove me back to RIT. Either that or I drove. I can't quite remember. But, yeah. And she must have liked me a lot because we are still together. And that was back in... I think we started talking in 2003. No. 2004? I can't remember. I do remember, though, that our first date was December 7th, a date which will live in infamy. We started going out. That first date took place on the eve of Pearl Harbor. So that we can remember. Well, I can't remember if it was 2003 or 2004. Cigars are weak, get them illegal drugs, but I guess you can't stream those. Plus, I've never had an illegal drug. Not one. I've not had any drug that you could not get from a prescription pharmacist. And that, of course, includes weed. I've never smoked weed, marijuana, whatever you want to call it. Nor will I, unless it becomes legal. Then I will totally do that, because I do lots of legal things all the time. I'm doing 2 of them right now. And I do believe that we will see weed legalized in all 50 states in my lifetime. I think it's inevitable. Every election they do it in more and more states, and not just the pretentious Democrat-run states. They're everywhere. It seems to be unrelated to party policy, or it's local states just have different feelings about it. So, but it's moving in that direction. Give me my eye. Well done. I like the taste of cigars. I like the smell of cigars. But I do not like, immediately when I'm done with a cigar, that gross, dry, scratchy aftertaste / throat pain that I have when it's all said and done. It's like I do the cigar, I feel great when I'm doing it, and then immediately when it's done, I'm like, well, that was horrible. It wasn't. It was fine. It's horrible now. But, it's not even about risk. I don't see much of a point. I can have plenty fun, plenty of enjoyable experiences with alcohol and with cigars and with video games and everything else that I do. And I don't feel the need to smoke weed. I will do it when it's legal because I want to try and find out what the hype is about when it's legal. First time smoking weed stream, if that's legal, I can do that. I mean, a lot of states it's like, yes, you're allowed to smoke marijuana, you're allowed to possess a certain amount of marijuana, but you can't do these things like smoke it in public, or smoke it while driving, or have more than an ounce, or whatever, all these different fucking things. So it's like, yeah, I'd have to really read up on that shit. But I would get it from, an outlet, a 420 outlet. I would get I may still even... I don't think I have my pipe anymore. I used to have a corncob pipe, straight up corncob pipe for smoking tobacco. And I may have gotten rid of that when I moved. Cigars it would be garbage by the time I actually smoked it, because I don't smoke often. Becky doesn't like the smell of it on my clothes and my face and hair and beard and all that. So really, after I'm done with this and the stream's over, I'm probably going to go take a shower and brush my teeth and put this shirt in the laundry and everything else, because just hide all evidence that I've done it. Not that I'm going to get in trouble for doing it, but if she comes home and she's like, ugh, the room smells like smoke, then I'm going to hear that shit for days. I wouldn't smoke it on stream for the first time, TBH. Good point. Valid, because I have no idea how I would react to it. Probably best to know what I'm getting into. I didn't even drink until college, and even then it was like I was 18. I was 18, and it wasn't something I like aggressively sought after, but I went over to some friends. I think I've told this story before, but this is a good one. So my first time drinking alcohol, I went over to a dorm room with my friends who were all in my role-playing group, and we were rolling up characters for a role-playing game called Champions, which is essentially a game about being superheroes. So we were rolling up superheroes together that we were going to play in a role-playing game, and they had vodka, so they were making screwdrivers, vodka and orange juice, in bottles that were not opaque. Were opaque, so you couldn't see them. You couldn't see what we were drinking. And we're all sitting there rolling up characters, talking about our superheroes that we were going to make for the game, and what their motivations were, and what their abilities were, and why they were awesome. And drinking screwdrivers. And their RA came down and knocked on the door and like wanted to know what we were up to. And I was playing a game here. Why do you care? And so they left. And we went back to drinking alcohol and playing games. But that was the first time I drank. It was a screwdriver. And even then, I didn't drink much. It was just like an occasional rare thing. They drank all the time. They came over to my dorm room one night. I was playing video games, probably like Battlefield 1942. It was Jay and Al. Jay and Al came over, and they were wasted. Like, I'd never seen Al without his hat, and his hat was off, and his hair was all disheveled. And Jay was hanging onto my bunk bed, like if he let it go, he'd fall to the floor. He's like, we need you to call our friend Tom and tell him that we want to go see Daredevil, because we saw the trailer for Daredevil, and all we saw was like a bunch of bad guys and a bunch of fists, and a bunch of bad guys got knocked out, and it looked fucking awesome. But we're too inebriated to do it. Can you please call Tom and let him know? Really funny shit. I haven't seen those guys since my wedding. I invited them to the wedding, and even then, I hadn't seen them in years. Yeah, they were cool dudes. We had a lot of fun doing role-playing stuff throughout the many years at RIT. A lot of D&D. I ran games. I played in games. Champions, we played a couple times. I don't know that we played anything else. It was either D&D or Champions. That was kind of the two things that we would be into, either superheroes or fantasy, orcs and goblins and shit. Dr. Wifey only pops in my streams when I'm ignoring her texts. So, nope, no text. Oh, they're looking forward to it. What's my favorite flavor? Of what? Oh, wait, hold on. What's your favorite thing to eat for an afternoon snack? And would you try Hightail when that comes out? Looks interesting. You probably won't do it right the first time. Oh, for smoking weed? Yeah, probably not, especially if I'm used to cigars. You don't inhale a cigar into your lungs, you just breathe it in and out of your mouth. Otherwise, you'd get really fucking awful. You get gross. Oh, you can't really see it, and if I reach out and grab the webcam and point to it, they'd probably run away. But I've got a hummingbird feeder about 6 feet away from me here. And hummingbirds are incredibly aggressive, territorial birds. So one of them will claim dominion over the feeder, and if another hummingbird comes by to drink from it, it'll come over and attack it. And they sound like attack helicopters, like because their wings beat so fucking fast. So it sounds like the world's biggest wasp is buzzing near your ear, and they fight all the fucking time. When it rains, they come out in crazy droves. So it rained earlier, so they've been zipping by a couple times now. Favorite thing to eat for afternoon snack? Man, that is a real strange question. I have a huge sweet tooth, so I often gravitate toward chocolate, especially. Just anything chocolate. I want it in my mouth as quick as possible. See, there's one now. Oh, it's one of those red-throated ones. See, I reach for the camera and they can see me and they zip away. But he's watching me from a different tree. Man, I eat anything. I do not... There are very few foods that I don't like, and even those I'll still eat them if I have to. But I will avoid things with olives or pickles because I don't like that vinegary, olivey flavor. I don't like vinegar. I don't like vinegary dressing, red wine vinaigrette. I don't like it. I hate it. It's too sour and bitter and gross. But I really like salty. I really like sweet. Everybody does. Usually, most people do. As for a good salty snack, I mean, I love just mixed nuts, and they're pretty good for you, except that they are loaded with calories. You eat like a teeny tiny handful of mixed nuts, and it's like 200 calories. But they're good for you. They got good fats and low sugar, low salt, usually. Well, depends. If you get salted ones, then they don't, but... I have worked a number of jobs in my lifetime. Oh, there they go, fighting. that are minimum wage or low wage, and I've got quite a few stories about all of them, and I'll tell some. I just want to take a sip and look. Doc's dupe stash is in his chin. It's in my pants. So I have worked a bunch of like low-paying, crazy blue-collar jobs when I was young. My first job ever was as a carny. I tell people I was a carny. My wife is like, "You weren't a carny. You didn't travel anywhere." But I worked at a very low-budget amusement park when I was 16 years old, and they could pay you. I don't even know if it was minimum wage. It might have been below minimum wage. Nah, it had to be minimum wage. But it was like $6.15 an hour or something in Pennsylvania. And I used to run. They didn't have, a bunch of crazy, awesome rides. They had a tilt-a-whirl, a really old and really, like, almost famous, 100-year-old, not merry-go-round. Is it a merry-go-round? Carousel. That's the one, carousel. They had this ancient carousel they paid a bunch of money for. It was 100 years old. They had something called a barrel of fun, which was like a fun house with its big rotating barrel. That they were famous for that. Like, these are old rides, like Coney Island era rides. And they had like a train and a couple of carny games and a bumper cars and a few other things. The Mr. Toad's Wild Ride in Florida, in Orlando, was based off of a ride that they had called the Pretzel, which was just you sit in a cart, real tight-fitting cart, and you rode around in the darkness, and you bumped into, the front doors, and as you drove over little plates, things would go, and like big bright lights would flash in your face and stuff like that. It was like a haunted house, kind of, but it was like a sit-down ride, and there are a couple of rides that are similar to that throughout the world, but theirs was one of the oldest one, and it got destroyed in a flood a few years after I stopped working there. Real sad. The whole place is still shut down as far as I know, except for the skating rink. But after working at as a carny for a summer, I then started working at Long John Silver's. I did cashier at Long John Silver's, so I worked in fast food. That was fun. It was a difficult job, but one of the perks was that at the end of the day, we got to take home whatever food they'd made that they hadn't sold. And sometimes they would make too much fucking food. I remember bringing home 4 big boxes full of Hush Puppies once, because somebody made like a batch of 50 Hush Puppies and they didn't come out right. And so instead of selling them, they gave it to me, and I brought them home. My dad would stay up playing video games on the computer till 2 in the morning, waiting for me to get home from Long John Silver's with whatever was left at the end of the night. He'd be like, "What'd you bring me?" "Oh, yeah, there they go. They're fighting." "What'd you bring me this time?" And I'm like, "Oh, I got 2 boxes of fish, 1 box of chicken, and a box full of French fries." Sweet. We didn't have to eat out for months. Hey, James. Yeah, dude, drink some bourbon. Man, this is relaxing. I rarely get the chance to just sit down, think, and do nothing, because I'm always busy, and part of my nature is just to be busy. If I'm not doing something, then I need to get up and start doing something. Even if that something's just a video game. Video games are great for me. My wife loves TV, can't understand why I don't like TV, but I don't like watching a story, I like making a story. I like being part of the process that creates an awesome story. And video games allow me to do that, whereas TV is just whatever. But we did start watching Game of Thrones. We're more than halfway through it now. I told my wife over and over, I'm like, "You will like Game of Thrones. You will like it. I know it's got dragons. I know it's got zombies. But you're going," or not zombies, but ghosts. She doesn't like ghosts. She loves zombies, but not ghosts. But what it's really about is it's about medieval dynasties and families and backstabbing. And she's like, we watched the first episode. She's like, "Nope, the brother and sister fucked. I don't want anything of it. Nope, we're done." And I'm like, "Come on, it's good." But after several years, the finale happened, and she gave in, and she started watching it. Now she loves it, of course, because I told her she would. She still doesn't like the Lannisters and the fact that they're incestual, but she does watch them. She does enjoy the show. She only likes Daenerys. All the characters, she's like, "I hate them all except Daenerys." She's like, "I don't like Jon Snow. He's dumb. I don't like..." Oh, and Arya. Arya Stark she likes as well. But we're in season 5 now. But I asked her the question, and perhaps, fuck, perhaps you guys would. See, the problem is you guys have probably all seen all of Game of Thrones, so you know everything. No spoilers, please. But I asked her. We're in season 5 now, and like Stannis Baratheon just took control of well, not took control of. He came to the rescue of the North, the Wall, and the Night's Watch. And I asked Becky in the car, I said, in your mind, who is the rightful ruler of Westeros? Who has the most legitimate claim to the throne? And she said, Daenerys Targaryen has the most legitimate claim to the throne. I said, does she, though? Her father was on the throne, was executed. They were put in exile. She's no longer allowed back at Westeros. And I said, if you assume that the usurpers of the throne, the Baratheons and the Lannisters and whatnot, are not the rightful rulers, then Daenerys Targaryen makes sense. But if you assume that because Daenerys' father was executed and killed and gave up his right to the throne by conquest, who's the rightful ruler of Westeros? And she said, well, it would be Stannis Baratheon. And I agreed. I said Stannis does have the rightful claim to the throne because his son, Robert's son, Joffrey, was not his legitimate heir. None of the Lannisters are legitimate heirs because none of them are actually Robert's children. And the bastard child that remains doesn't count because he's not a legitimate heir because he's a bastard. But Stannis Baratheon does. And I said, and this whole fucking problem could have been avoided if Remy Baratheon had backed his older brother the way he should have at the start of the show. If he... Game of Thrones free here, lol. If he had done the right thing and backed his brother as the rightful heir to the throne, there would have been no problem. They would have conquered the throne without any trouble. There wouldn't be this crazy bitch with the Lord of Light cultist ruling behind the scenes. They would have probably succeeded when they sieged the city because they would still have the backing of that other family that I can't remember their fucking name, but the queen is currently. Anyway. This is it. Rambling Talks with Doctrzombie, Cigars, and Bourbon. That's what you came for. Let me jump up to the top of the chat because a whole bunch of talking has been going on. And I've been talking about that same thing for a while. So hi, Wonder Woman. Welcome. James Russells. Hi, Neck Cutter. Hello. Welcome. Morbid Rain. How you doing, buddy? Who else has come in? Fatal Chinese Symbol is here as well. And I think that's everybody. Wire Boy, hey, you mentioned earlier that you haven't seen me in a while. I'm around. I just tend to do streams on Monday, Wednesday, late at night. There won't be a stream Monday, by the way. Monday's the last day before Dr. Wifey comes home. And I'm also going over to my brother-in-law's to play board games Monday night. So I won't have a chance to stream. I'm watching another one of these hummingbirds. They're coming every like 2 minutes, zipping around and getting some drink. The feeder has been there long enough that there's mold growing in the top. So if I understand sugar water correctly, it's probably being converted to alcohol. So these hummingbirds are totally getting drunk off this feeder. And they love it. That's why they keep coming back. Morbid Rain's hitting a joint. You live in a state where that's legal, or is this something which I'm about? Sorry, Haley, that you can't do any of that. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. Although, I mean, Dr. Wifey was never really into drinking that much, although she did enjoy during parties. In fact, she used to be way more into it. She used to have margaritas all the time. She used to, frozen margaritas and then regular margaritas. She used to drink whatever people made. We used to go to a bar in Rochester called Jack Ryan's. We had good times at the bar. But lately, not a sip of alcohol has passed over her lips. Not wine, not margaritas. I make a kick-ass margarita, like the way they're supposed to, with, agave nectar and lime juice and shit. She doesn't want any of it. Haley says technically there's someone who has more claim to any of those, but I won't spoil. My wife and I actually have a theory that Jon Snow is actually Robert Baratheon's bastard son. And we feel pretty confident that, like 100% confident, that he is not Eddard Stark's son. And it's kind of unfortunate, and I'm sorry, but I will spoil things that I have seen. I can't help it. If you've never seen Game of Thrones and you don't want spoilers, then, I don't know, plug your ears for a couple minutes. But we think that Jon Snow is not Eddard Stark's son because Eddard Stark never really admitted to it. Never admitted to sleeping with a woman. Never admitted that he was his son. Everyone assumed it, but we don't think he actually is. We think in one of his drunken escapades, Robert Baratheon, the true king of Westeros, before he was killed, may have fathered Jon Snow. But we don't know. We're still 3 seasons till the end. Don't spoil it for us. I'm more interested in that than my wife is. She thinks Daenerys is the rightful queen of Westeros and should take rule of the throne. But I like Daenerys. I really like Tyrion Lannister. I think he's the best. Obviously, one of my favorite characters. Becky doesn't like him. She thinks that he's too brash, too flawed. But I like him as a flawed character. But maybe I always loved dwarven heroes because... And I used dwarven as the actual dwarf. Because I always loved that movie Willow. Willow was a great fucking movie. If you haven't seen Willow, you should see Willow. Just really good fantasy movie about... what do they call themselves in that movie? Hold on, let me think about it. I can't remember. Basically, they're halflings. They're all dwarves. And they live in a small community. God damn it. Does anybody remember what they're called from Willow? Any Willow fans out there who aren't half stoned on Dominican cigars? Monte Cristo, by the way, is what I'm smoking today. Monte Cristo Whites. Fuck! I can't remember what they're called. Willow Ufgood is his name. The brownies in the movie are awesome too. Willow, the movie Willow, by the way, if you haven't seen it, definitely should check it out. It's full of great adventure hooks for D&D and great character concepts for D&D. Come to the base. It's becoming beautiful. Fort Dick on Constantium. I'll definitely swing by. Thing is, one of my many spies, has sent me coordinates for a couple bases that I need to go blow up in Constantium, so I may do that. I know that tonight is a viewer request, but if viewers request Constantium, I'll probably go do that tonight. Live stream me going and blowing up a base. Or, if not, then Monday nights after board games, or if I can get to it Tuesday, because I believe I'll stay home Tuesday and work from home. Actually, I've got a lot of work to do Tuesday. That's a big day, so maybe I'll go to work that day. Anyway, Canada illegal. Yeah, Morbid plays on like every fucking server I know. I don't know where he gets the time to play so much Minecraft, but he is on all the servers. Oh, God. Was it James that totally asked me to come visit his base on 2B, and I blew him off? I said I'll never go into 2B again because it takes too long. And now, apparently, Camping Russia is back. Although his YouTube channel that is doing the videos of 2B only has 30,000 followers. It's like not a big channel, so I don't think it's going to have the impact that it did before. Sugar water doesn't just degrade into alcohol, it needs yeast. Ah, okay. So I don't have yeast, I have mold, but not yeast. It's our historic server for all Hammer Beam or builds we have. Something friends. Fatal says it's not Robert Baratheon's. Well, spoilers, but also I'm going to keep pretending or thinking that it is because I'm going to assume you're lying. Season 5 was my favorite. Oh, we're in that now. What just happened? Last episode we saw couple of the episodes have been really fucking boring lately. We would like almost fell asleep. They were so dull. But Jon Snow's the Lord Commander now. He just... Oh! The massive zombie army attack on the wildlings just happened in the last episode. That was really cool. I wanted to show... I was thinking, like, I should show this to my kids. Although they might get scared, because those fucking zombie children were pretty freaky. My wife was like, well, I'm going to have nightmares. But I do think it's getting better now. That was a really cool scene. And I don't know, my wife doesn't really like a lot of action combat battle shit, but I loved it. I thought it was fucking great. I could have watched that for 2 hours. Yeah, Haley, Willow was a good movie. My wife didn't like it. Actually, did I force my wife to watch it? I forced somebody to watch it, and they were like, that was not a good movie. They are wrong. Willow was a great movie. I love Willow's take on magic. How magic works was just fucking great. Because, I mean, D&D is a lot of, oh, everyone knows a little bit of magic. Everyone's got magic. There's fucking magic items out the ass. Magic is magic missiles and light and all this other shit. But every major movie takes magic in a very subtle way. Like, there's even theories that Gandalf doesn't actually have any magical powers. He's just a trickster and a sage. And they're fairly legitimate theories. But Willow's take on magic was really good. Very pagan, very slow, methodical, ritual type of shit. But the magical creatures that are in Willow are also pretty excellent. And I love the brownies. Brownies are fantastic. Teeny tiny creatures, like man-shaped, creatures that think they're fucking better than everybody. That's fucking great. By the way, we're almost at the end of the cigar, and I am feeling loopy as fuck right now. I love it. I legal high, absolutely. If I didn't know a bunch of money to the fucking feds, I would go out and get some cigars and smoke some more this weekend, but I'll have to do with these old ones. Yeah, there they go, fighting each other again. Fucking. Let me zip forward here, let's get a good view. 2B Constantium AMC, that's Anarchy Minecraft, Reform Private Server, and Barondome has a server. Hi, me fan, love long time. Adrian, I love you long time too. Daffy McDowell's is here. D&D is nice. I love D&D. I've been playing it for years. Although really I only got into it in college. But I've always been a fan of D&D-like stuff. I tried to get into it when I was young, but it was too expensive, and I didn't have any friends who were really into it. But I had a second edition book. And then, on my nose. And then third edition came out when I was about 16, 17. But I didn't really get into it until I was in college. And then, holy shit, there was a whole club of like 400 people who were into D&D and stuff like it. So, and then I became president of RWAG, Rochester Wargamer Association Guild, the RIT D&D / wargaming / board gaming club. And that was awesome. That was one of the cooler things I did with my life. Neckcutter wants me to do my hardcore world for the fan favorite. After this live stream is over, I'll put up a poll in the Discord, and we can all vote on what we want to see. Hardcore Minecraft? Fuck, man, I'm having a great time with that. I'm enjoying that. It's a whole new Minecraft for me. It's like I've forgotten everything. Sorry about that. Cigars make you spit eventually. Oh my god, I'm so... Woo! I'm getting a little loopy, which is great. All that nicotine is in my body. I've apparently built up a huge tolerance to alcohol, because it takes a lot to get me drunk now. But the cigars are so rare that the nicotine really affects me. How's the weather? It's raining. The rain's back. I thought it wouldn't come back, but it did. So I'm enjoying the rain. It's still hot. It's still humid out here, but it's better because it's raining. And it's good. We need the rain. The rain will hopefully tomorrow bring out some ant queens. So maybe my pool will be filled with ant queens. Because pretty much all the ones that I have died, except for the ones that I took some videos of. I've got a Solenopsis invicta colony. That's fire ant. And pretty much everyone I tell that to is like, why would you keep fire ants? They're horrible creatures that need to be burned off the face of the earth. It's true. I don't like the fire ants. I don't even like having them as a colony. But it's the colony that worked. It's the colony that was most successful. So I've got about 20 workers in a mini hearth from ants, tar heel ants. And I have video of that, of me moving them into that, so I'll show that off. I'll probably get that edited sometime in the next week and uploaded. I've got a couple videos that I want to show off for that. I'm not trying to change my stream into ants, but, I mean, if you guys like my content, pretty much anything that I do, you guys have been there for, so thanks for that. I appreciate that. You guys are fans of me, not my shit. Oh, the rain's kicking up a bit. So I'll show off that. And some of you have been really interested in the ant stuff, and I highly recommend it. Ants are great. They're an awesome creature, and they make for a pretty decent pet, because you don't really need to do a lot with them. Put a dead insect in their bowl every couple days, and they're fine. A little honey. Fuck. So good. Oh, God. Now I want to go get a cigar, even though I'm broke. Any donations today will either go to the IRS or to me buying a cigar. Oh, God. All right, let me see here. 2B vid only got like 4K views. Which one? Oh, the one that Rusher uploaded? I think it's more than that, but yeah, no, I totally get it. Now I have to watch it. Game of Thrones or the Rusher video? I only watched a little bit. The guy has changed. I think 2B2T and the experience he had with it last time has changed him. As it changes most people who log onto that server, but I think he's gotten older. He's understanding more of that. You can't just go around buying communities. You can't just go around buying servers. He has more respect for the server now than he did when it started. I'm just not going to watch it. I don't have fucking time for that. Thanks for the donation, Haley. Smoke for me. You got it. That drag was for Haley. I'll go one. Yes, Morbid Rain for beer. Thanks, bud. I just bought a case from BJ's Stella. I drank 6 of them yesterday, in addition to rum, in addition to vodka. It's no wonder that I woke up with a goddamn hangover, because I forgot to drink a bunch of water. Speaking of, holy shit, I should get some water in me, because I'm dying here. Alright, Haley asks a very good question. Will me and Dr. Wifey consider raising another tiny Satan? The answer is yes and no. And here's why. I have been clipped. I went out and got a vasectomy after our 3rd child was born because I do not want to sire another crotch goblin. I have 3 boys, and they are a handful. And God bless him, the last one was an accident, or rather an unexpected birth, but we love him so much. He's great. That kid is so cute, and he is an outdoors kid. He's a boy's boy. Like, he is a boy. The other ones have quirks. My oldest is really into video games and live streaming and YouTube and stuff. He wants to be a YouTuber when he gets older. That's like his fucking dream. That, or he also wants to be a marine biologist. And my wife won't let me tell him that marine biologists don't make any money and everybody wants to be a marine biologist because the ocean's fucking awesome. But he's very, very smart. He's genius level smart. He's got fucking rocket intelligence. He gets that from me. I'm a pretty smart guy. But he's got ADHD. And so we've got him on medication, and the medication keeps going up every couple of years because he keeps getting crazier. But if he focuses and applies himself, he can do anything he wants. He is a genius. But he is hard to handle. He's very independent, very combative. He thinks he's the parent, and he's not. I've had to spank him more than the other boys. Much more. And I do spank my children. I believe that children need to be spanked every once in a while for, you know, when they fuck up. But he's got problems, but he's got the most potential out of any of them. My middle child, Alexander, he's special. I think he might wind up being gay. I'm gonna be honest. Straight up, I'm coming out there. I think you're born with it. It's pretty obvious, having seen him. Maybe he won't. Maybe he's just a quirky kid who's got, you know, some strange tendencies. But I think he's probably going to wind up being gay. But he's really good at, well, apparently BB guns. He scored a perfect 100 at his BB gun range for Cub Scouts. At the Cub Scout camp we took him to. So I want to get him involved in shooting. Like, I want to get him fucking signed up for a BB gun club. because that's something I can. I mean, I'll be proud of my kids no matter what they do. But if one of my kids becomes like a championship BB gun shooter, I'm just gonna explode with proudness, man. That's fucking great. So I'm gonna get him into some kind of shooting club. I don't care. I'm partly conservative, and I absolutely believe that shooting is a skill that my kids should learn. I haven't been hunting in years because I had a property up in Pennsylvania, but it's too hard to go up there and hunt. I'd love to get back into it, but it's complicated. It's expensive. It's complicated when you live in an area where you don't own property that you can hunt off of. I'm so high right now on this cigar. I'm probably rambling like crazy, and I definitely feel like I'm getting knocked out here. I might take a nap. Take a nap after this live stream. Man, you guys are great with the questions, though. I've been talking nonstop. I got more to say and more to read. Jesus. One of my younger relatives was afraid of ants and then got explained to them how every ant works for the queen, and now he respects them. Ants are awesome. There's kind of an off theory. I don't even think it's got any practical basis. But there's a theory that insects, arachnids, and the like are a totally different genetic evolution than the rest of the world. So much as they may have come from a different planet. Now, what I mean by that, of course, is that insects arrived on this planet from a very different genome than the rest. Because you can kind of trace, via evolution, you can kind of trace, single-cell organism to multi-cell organism to fish, to the plant. But when the very first fish crawled up out of the sea, people are like, oh, that's evolution. That's how it worked. People came from fish. Fish, turned into amphibians, which turned into reptiles, which turned into, et cetera, dinosaurs. But insects, they don't really fit into that. They have more limbs. They have a very almost alien style of sensing the world around them. And so there is a theory out there that insects are not native to Earth the way that fish were. But the very first fish that crawled out of the sea did not crawl out into some dumb rock that was filled with nothing. They crawled out into a extremely populated world with not just plants but also insects that had already adapted, annelids that are already adapted to that life. Anyway, I don't know enough about it. I'm not a biologist. I'm just kind of a ant enthusiast, if anything. I just burnt my finger a bit. It might be time to get rid of this cigar because it's getting real low, but goddamn it, I love it. All right, every time I breathe in now, I'm burning myself, so I'm going to go ahead and put this out. I'll stick to bourbon for the rest of the stream. Fuck me, that was good. Oh, there's so much chat I have to read. I'm all the way at the top. Goddamn, Haley and Morbid are the real MVPs. He made a new channel. He got very few views in his first 15-minute videos. Tequila and whiskey last night. I feel your hangover pain. Thanks, Autumn. I appreciate it. Water, man. Just drinking water. I had a couple of ibuprofen for the headache. I felt real dizzy. I felt like I was going to throw up, too, at 6 in the morning. Still felt drunk at 6 in the morning, but it was probably just hangover. But after some water and some ibuprofen, I felt better. It's up to 12K now. We'll be sad when we sell N Thing 3, but we love him. Keep telling my kid she's going to be an aerospace engineer. It's so much fun plugging that in early. Yeah, do it. Connor says, as a child who has ADHD, I can respectfully say, fuck you. I had ADHD. We didn't know what it was. I was too young. I was born in a different era. I definitely have ADHD, or at least ADD. But for me, I only had myself. I didn't have any brothers, so I didn't get into fights constantly. I fought with my friends. And my parents were good at kind of letting me go and do my own thing. And honestly, I wound up pretty great. I wish that I could do that with my son, but he fights so much with us and so much with the kids that medicating him is the right call. When we were a young couple, just recently married, we thought that the problem with kids who had ADHD was that they didn't receive enough discipline. Their parents let them get away with shit. And that is not true. We've learned through having a kid who has severe ADHD that medication actually does help some people. We think it might be overprescribed. Some kids don't need it, but our kid actually needs it. And he is a much better person with medicine than he is without. Smarter, calmer, more focused, more able to accomplish the destiny that he can achieve while he's on medication. And hopefully he'll grow out of it, and we can stop the medication when he's older. But right now he definitely needs it, and he achieves very well in school with it. But without it, he's impossible. Oh my God! I'm so, I don't know what you would call it, influenced by the drugs. I'm trying to focus. The only reason I considered making a kid is to make him work for me in 2B, but I guess that's very ludicrous. Yeah. I would never let my son play on 2B, not until he's old enough to understand it. But he's been in Roblox. I've heard him say bad words on Xbox Live, and when I do, he gets in a lot of trouble. Because I don't believe kids should be allowed to call people names on Xbox and get away with it. So I fucking parent my children, and I think everyone else who has children should parent their kids. Make your kid farm obby out of chests. Parenting goals. Are any of your kids into music? Not really. They all like music. They all enjoy different types of music. I've made them listen to a whole slew of different things. I personally like nightcore, which is weird, but I'm a weird person, and I have weird hobbies and things that I like, but I like nightcore. Oh my God. This stream is not going to last a lot longer because I'm going to need to lay down. Make them mine each chest as punishment. Welcome, Connor McKnight, Connor Pfeiffer. Both Connors are here. Ants Canada is a great channel for information on ants and aquarium holders for ants. Yeah, I love Ants Canada. It is a little bit too scripted, a little bit too dramatized. They add too much drama to ants. And I think he does it on purpose, where he gets his ant colonies killed and shit. His latest ant colony, colony of harvester ants, weaver ants? I don't know, the kind that builds nests in trees out of leaves. Leaf cutter ants, maybe that's it. Anyway, he's got them in an aquarium that, I'm going to be talking about something you guys have no clue about. Basically, go watch his channel. The aquarium he's using has cracks in it. A small ant can easily get in and out of there. And he's had problems with this native colony of ants called pharaoh ants coming in and murdering his colonies. And he's just bought another aquarium that could easily be accessed by them. I don't know. Whatever. Mass extinction, we just lost the fossil record. It's possible. I subscribe to a... there's a term for it, and I don't know what it is. I subscribe to the belief that there is a god, specifically a goddess, that manipulates reality in ways that we believe we can understand, such as evolution, but it's guided evolution, where it's so complicated to explain while I'm also drunk and on tobacco high. I believe in evolution, and I believe that evolution is proof that there is a God. There you go. That's how I've come about it. That alone is probably more than I should say in a live stream. My parents won't watch this. My mother, my father's dead, so I don't feel too bad about stating that. But that's something that I've publicly talked about once or twice, but not much. Do marine biologists study Marines? Yes, they do. They study the armed forces and how they work. This is exactly why I don't and will never smoke. I don't smoke cigarettes, never have, but cigars are kind of an occasional treat that does impact me pretty significantly because I don't smoke much. But I enjoy cigars. I just don't do them much. I do alcohol way too much, apparently, because I've discovered, I drank more than half of that container of Captain Morgan yesterday and didn't really feel anything until the end of the night. I think my liver is starting to adapt to too much alcohol, which is probably bad. Probably real bad. The last Thursday theory, Jesus Christ. everything was created last Thursday, and everything you see is planted in your brain. Nothing actually happened. Khan Academy, learn the basics of math and science, and they'll make it real fun too. Your kid might love it. Get your kids to play 2B. That will stop them from saying bad words. Quite the opposite. Get them into good music before they start listening to that modern shit. Modern shit's what I listen to. Haven't watched Sketch Canada in a while. Yeah, it's a good show, but I do believe that it's getting too dramatic. It's kind of like Fitt's channel, where he used to talk about stuff that was actually happening and was real and to culture, and now he just takes any little thing and makes it into a big video. Like, oh, it's the world's largest cactus. You know, whatever. Baron Dome definitely has talked about this in the past and made fun of Fit for it, but I also agree a little bit with Baron Dome. He's trying to make a channel that's more exciting than it really is. Preschool. Baby on the way. Congratulations, Haley. Any extra stuff for my daughter would be too much for me right now. Yeah, I know what that's like. I got 3 kids, and trying to keep them into stuff that they like is impossible. My middle child would like to go into gymnastics, but gymnastics is expensive, and the gymnastics organizations down here where I live now are just garbage. They're too expensive for what they offer. We had a really nice one up in Rochester, but we moved. If you like Nightcore, try Drunk on You, one of my personal favorites. Try Castle X Dollhouse, and the word to describe how you're feeling is crossed. Okay, I am totally crossed right now. What texture pack is this? This is Minecraft IRL mode texture pack. You need special tools in order to break bricks and stuff. Religion is weird. I don't want to tell my parents how I feel about not being an actual Catholic. I totally get it, man. I would never tell my mother how I really feel about stuff. I continue to go to church, not because I'm trying to convince anyone that I'm still a diehard born-again Christian, but I think church is actually good for my kids. So I drag them to church, and I make them believe in something that is healthy and useful. I do go to a church that accepts gay marriage, because I believe that I believe that modern church that is opposed to gay marriage has wrongfully interpreted the Bible. And I believe that there are verses that support gay marriage. And I know that that's kind of a controversial stance, but they're there. There are verses in the Bible that say that eventually some people will claim that other people are not allowed to get married. And I think that pretty much straightly identifies gay marriage as being supported by God, but not supported by the church. So, anyway. Also, I don't believe that God makes mistakes. Therefore, I don't think that a child who is born gay is a mistake. I don't think that it's a choice. I think that it's something that is natural. Not like everyone should be gay, but I don't think it's a sin. We'll put it that way. Controversial talk with Doctrzombie. I did say nothing's off limits, and so far I haven't really found any question or comment or discussion that I don't want to talk about. Probably said too much, but I'm okay with that. What state do I live in? I think it's pretty well known. Anyone can pretty much dox me at this point. I don't think it's terribly wrong to say that I live in North Carolina now. I've mentioned a few times in the past things in North Carolina that I've gone to or done. I do live in North Carolina now. I used to live in Rochester, New York, but I won't say more than that. People have searched me, and it does bother my wife quite considerably. She is adamantly against people Googling me and finding out where I live, especially our children and pictures of us. It made her very angry that someone did that, but there's not a lot I can do about it. Our lives are partly public, and I'm not going to hide in my home and pretend that I don't live here just because a couple of people had found out more than we wanted to. So yes, I do live in North Carolina. Fatal says the fucking Pope. Yeah, we kind of thought that. Did the Pope actually say gay marriages were cool? He may have said that once, but the official stance of the Catholic Church is that they're not. And we were hoping that he would soften that, but I believe in our lifetime we will see that soften. Maybe not in the Catholic Church, but certainly in other churches. The Episcopal Church certainly does already. Certain Methodist churches do support gay marriage, and others do not. We belong to a Methodist church that does believe that everyone who is willing to believe in Jesus, believe in God, and serve him and follow as many commandments as a human can possibly do is welcome, and that gay marriage is not a sin. Connor's only gone to church twice, and I like how it brings people together. Not sure about going there in general. Again, I go because I want my kids to go. I don't personally get anything out of it, but I've also gone to church my whole life, so I kind of know everything that they want to talk about. Will I ever go back to 2B? Yes, if the queue ends. If I no longer have to wait in line for 10 hours or 8 hours or 6 hours to play, then I might play again. The problem is that with my lifestyle, my kids, my family, my job, my free time is extremely limited. I could attempt to log into 2B by like starting it in the morning, coming home from work and seeing if I'm in, but chances are pretty high that sometime during the workday I would get in and immediately be kicked for being AFK for 10 minutes or whatever. 2B is just not viable for me, and I refuse to pay for it. I don't believe $20 a month is a reasonable price. I recognize that may be the cost that it takes to keep the servers running, but I don't think it's a reasonable price for me to pay just to log into a server. There are plenty of servers out there, and Constantium is a perfect example of a server that is an anarchy server that I can get into without paying money, without paying $20 a month, and have the exact same experience as 2B, if not a better one, because the actions that I take on 2B2T are inconsequential, whereas on Constantium they actually matter. Chop would like me to play Constantium later and come back to Fort Dick. I will do. I'll come back to Fort Dick eventually, but I'm kind of not near it right now, and I want to blow up some shit. My goal in Constantium is to act as an agent of decay, to break fucking... I live near a base. That actually is too much information. But there's a lot of airplanes that come by. So there's a lot of that noise. I just joined the Westboro Baptist Church. Is this a good thing? No, it's a terrible church. It doesn't make any sense at all. Need to hunt for more zombie villagers to create a breeder and then iron farm. I found 2 so far. Nice. A lot of people in the community will be outraged if someone doxes you. Yes, they will. And I feel bad for McNeil, and I spoke out about this in the past. When he leaked the chords to Zeril's and Tyr, people started doxing him in real life, and that's not cool. I don't care what he did in 2B2T. That is not appropriate, and I've mentioned it before. You need to leave people alone. Like, it's just a fucking block game. Believe in an entity, wouldn't call it God, gives it too much power. I think that's something that is a spectator and will observe us as it pleases. Interesting. Would you return if someone bought you priority? Possibly. I would possibly go to 2B2T with priority. However, I want to state clearly for the record that anyone who purchases priority for me is wasting their money. I would rather you gave me the $20 because I can produce way more exciting content with $20. Either by getting alcohol or getting cigars or buying a new video game that I can stream for you than I would out of 2B, because I probably would only get to go once or twice in that month. And even at that point, there's still a queue. It's a lot shorter. But the content wouldn't be that interesting because I'm currently basing at Radius Base. So I would definitely explore Radius. There's been a lot that's done there, and I definitely want to see it. And I would show it off. I'd do a base tour of Radius. But that's probably all I would get to do, because I'm so far away from where the action is, alleged action, that I wouldn't be able to get back there in time to do anything interesting. It still takes too damn long to travel without flight, without entity speed, and even with entity speed, it's a problem. Flight really is the only way to travel. And that's how I think I flew to where I founded Zeril's and Tyr. And without flight, I can't get back to spawn. Without, dying and leaving everything behind. It's just bullshit. I don't want to do it. It's too much work. It's not fun. The hardcore series is fun. Constantium is fun. 2B2T is not fun. Not for me, and probably not for you guys. Not malevolently, but particularly Universe 4 goes out. You're an interesting man. I've met many interesting players looking on 2B. Most people on 2B2T are interesting people. They have real lives. They're not just a slew of racist comments that they post in chat. They are complex people. Again, 2B2T is the way that Minecraft was intended. Anarchy, doing what you want, not having rules. That is kind of the way Minecraft should be played. Although doing so without hacks would be more interesting. Religion is cool because it helps so many poor people, but like some people take religious beliefs so far that it goes against what their religion dictates. More importantly, Fatal, I think that a lot of people who are religious only pick and choose the teachings that they like. A lot of religion talks about giving up everything you can to help the common good, to help people. It talks about being accepting of other people, no matter what their religious beliefs or personal beliefs are. It talks about being peaceful instead of warlike. It talks about letting in people who are different and who are destitute and helping them. One of the things that Jesus specifically said was that it would be harder for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven than it would be for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle. And basically that's stating that having money is a bad thing because it is the root of many evils. When you have money, or when you want money more appropriately, you're willing to do things that you should not do. So that's tough for a lot of people to understand, especially even myself. Like, I have property, I have a house, I have children, I have a job. I need to take care of that. I need to take care of people that I know more than people I don't know. And those teachings when I really don't, because it's too difficult, too complicated, or too... It opposes what I believe, which is kind of like, fuck those people. Thanks, Shadow Cow Moo, watching for 20 minutes. This is interesting. And all I'm doing is drinking. I'm no longer smoking because I finished that cigar and it still affected me quite heavily. But this is a good chat. Welcome, the Ohioan. Just woke up. Jealous. Watch the Anarchy podcast you were in. I think you are interesting. Thank you. I do think that the Anarchy podcast that I had brought up a couple things that no one has heard before, and we haven't discussed today either. So you should definitely watch that. I do talk about stuff that's really interesting. Entity Speed is dead. Yeah. Rip. Antium Fort Tick, but much bigger. Fort Tick is not really a thing that you can join. So Chop built it kind of as a potential base for me to store my shit and launch my attacks on Constantium from without being a nomad. I played 2B2T as a nomad for years, where I would just, everything that I needed, I carried on my back. I logged out with all the stuff in my inventory. And this is before shulker boxes, before ender chests even, and then the ender chest certainly helped. But being a nomad on 2B2T is kind of like, that's the way I played for many, many years, because I was afraid that no matter where I founded a base and put stuff, someone would find it. And oftentimes they did, because I didn't go very far. I'm outside, so the internet connection isn't great. Adrian gave a guy $1 the other day. He definitely bought methamphetamine, but I did think, okay, everything really is just okay. That is the problem. When I see people begging for money, I assume that they're going to buy drugs, or alcohol, and they're not going to use it for smart things. I do assume a lot of the time that people are in that situation because they made poor choices, and it's not always true. Our economy and our civilization really does force some people into homelessness that have made no real mistakes. They haven't accepted homelessness because they want to, or because they believe that they need to buy drugs or whatever. They just get there because fuck, it's hard to get through life. Like, even now, I have a good job, I have a family, I have land, I have a house, but fuck me, the IRS just wanted me to pay $2,000 for shit, and I can't afford that. I'm like, fuck you, I need that money. Technically, I owe it to them. Technically, I withdrew money from my retirement account because I needed it to move to North Carolina. And now they're like, well, you need to pay taxes on that. And I'm like, but I don't have that money. It's tough, man. I work at a great job that pays me very well. If I didn't have kids, I would be a rich man. Kids are expensive. Feeding them is expensive, and getting them into school is expensive. But for a family of 5, mine is the only income. It is tough to make it through. I live paycheck to paycheck. Awesome, I'll blow it up. Oh, God save you. Did I watch Fitz Nomad video? No, I didn't. I don't watch a lot of YouTube. Very, very little. I watch some Hat Films. I watch some Yogscast. but even that is like one video a week at most. I don't have time. My old job that I used to work at, I used to work for a company that created software for train systems. Essentially, the software they created was like the train, what's the fucking word? Train management, like train, fuck! I used to be able to describe this better, but now it's been a while. Basically like the office that coordinates, manages, and shows where trains are running on the lines. I used to work for a company that designed that software. Netcutter was homeless 4 years ago, not by choice. I believe you, man. I used to feel like homelessness was mostly a problem with drugs and a problem with laziness. I no longer feel that way. I've been educated somewhat by looking into it and by listening to a podcast called Time Suck. And Time Suck is a fantastic podcast that really deep dives into topics. Everything from, serial killers to shadow people to, alien invasions to very basic stuff like homelessness or immigration. And they're a great podcast. Very funny as well. But I don't give homeless people money. I feel like if I had food, I would give it to them. But even that is not a guarantee, because if you're giving them a meal, that means they don't have to spend money on food. They can spend money on drugs. So it's so tough. But I have worked at food banks, packaging vegetables and stuff that people can then that they then distribute to food shelters, soup kitchens, whatever you want to call it. I have donated my time to organizations that I believe will help people who need to get back on their feet, but I very rarely, first off, I don't have money, but I very rarely give money to people on the street. I've done it a couple times, but I usually feel bad about it right after, and that shouldn't be the case. I shouldn't feel bad about giving someone $1. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know how easy money it is, but if somebody gave you $5 for you sitting on the corner for an hour, it's not a lot of money. You should get a job. Job would be better, but at the same time, then you don't have to pay taxes. You don't have to do anything hard. You just sit there with a sign that says, "Please give money. Anything is useful." Some drugs can make you smarter. Unfortunately, they're hard to come by because they don't generate profit. I hope that fucking air conditioner doesn't bother you guys. My AC unit just kicked on. Watching Willow. Goddamn right. I feel like I need to go watch Willow now. Isn't there a website where you guys can you can like stream a video and watch it, and everyone can watch the same video? Go watch Willow. Sell your kids to China. You can be a billionaire. Do you think you'll stream WoW Classic when it comes out? Nope. I played World of Warcraft for many years with Dr. Wifey, and we got to level 60 and immediately became bored because we didn't like playing with other people. We didn't want to join a guild. I would have. My wife certainly didn't. So we didn't join a guild. We didn't do all the raid shit. We just got to level 60 and we're like, well, that's it. There's nothing more. Obviously, the real game of World of Warcraft is in those raids, is in that end game content when you are part of a guild. But guilds had too many fucking rules about how to distribute loot, and we'd hated it. Like, we thought it was a corruption of the game. But no, I wouldn't play World of Warcraft. Every once in a while, me or Dr. Wifey's like, hey, you know what I would really like to play? I'd like to play some WoW. And once in a blue moon, we'll even shell out the $20 each for it. And then by the end of that month, we're bored of it again, because it's the same shit. Kill a wolf, get boots. Easy to sell modded automatic guns, which cost like $20 to do to the feds for a few $100. They hate fully auto guns for some reason, because they're illegal. Netcutter now gets paid to talk about his time as a homeless person. Paid $150 for an hour. Awesome. Younger dude, possibly high schooler, begging for money on the road while he was wearing an expensive pair of headphones. Yeah. How can you be pregnant for years? Because she's faking it, Adrian. I read a thing the other day. No, never mind. I'm not going to talk about that. Some people make $100,000 a year from sitting and begging. What the fuck? Who are these jackholes? It's on YouTube. Okay. Why beg when you can just be a girl and stream on Twitch? Sell your bathwater. Jeffrey Epstein? Don't know him. Sorry. Fucking hell, the feds are hiding something huge. Suicide, I think. Suicide, air quotes. Yeah, I believe you totally. Yeah, he committed suicide. Who's Jeffrey Epstein? Why is that a thing? No Pizzagate believer, but there might be a pedo ring going on the higher-ups in the U.S. Gov. There's been a lot of talk about this guy who Bill Clinton used to be a big friend of, who runs an airline or has a airplane. Fuck, I think it might be not Vivid. What's the fucking... Somebody in the entertainment industry owns a entertainment network and was well known for running a pedophile island where people could go and fuck kids, and like they knew about it. Like it was well known, and he had a lot of connections to political people like Bill Clinton. Watch Together is a website where we can all watch a movie. What's the stream schedule for this week? We'll talk about that in a second. Nope, I won't stream the Area 51 raid. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's ridiculous. Big rich pedo dude. So, stream schedule. Tomorrow is Sunday. I will not be streaming. Or if I do, it'll be a nighttime stream, whatever I want. Monday I will not be streaming because I work, and then I'm going to play board games with my brother-in-law. And Tuesday, Dr. Wifey and the kids get home. I don't know when, but I assume it'll be late afternoon, early evening. So I probably won't stream Tuesday either. In fact, I probably won't stream Tuesday or Wednesday because the wife and kids are home. I'll be expected to spend a lot of time with them at night instead of streaming. We'll probably watch Game of Thrones. Today will be the last day for streaming, probably for a week. I'll probably do a stream next week, this coming weekend. We'll see. But tonight, there's one more stream left, and it's going to be a whatever you guys want to see. So you can go on the Discord. I'll set up a vote about it after the stream is over. It's almost 3. It is 3:30 now, so I'll probably end this stream by 4 o'clock. That'll give me about an hour or two to set up. It said, eat dinner. I have to make dinner because I ran out of dinner. I gotta make something. Fuck. Or run out and buy pizza if I'm not stoned out of my mind from the fucking tobacco and alcohol. Or crossed, as it were. Make dinner, do stream tonight. Streamer's choice. Not streamer's choice. Viewer's choice. You guys will pick. I'll stream that for a couple hours, and then I'll probably head to bed at a normal time instead of midnight. Maybe like 11 if I'm lucky. Then maybe I can watch some Futurama. If they do in fact raid Area 51, if Jeff Epstein's government secrets are there, everything will just fall apart. I mean, Area 51 is exactly what we think it is. It is a government facility for designing and testing weapons. Probably, most notably, aircraft. So they built these spy aircraft and the stealth bombers and stuff there. And people thought it was UFOs, but in fact it was actually just fucking high-flying altitude aircraft. That's my guess, and I think that makes the most sense with what we know. So, attempting to raid Area 51, there's a great video from Legal Eagle. If you look, real lawyer, discusses Area 51. He has a line in there. He's like, "What would happen to the people who stormed Area 51? Where would they be tried in court?" And the response he got from somebody was, "There wouldn't be a trial because they'd be shot dead." But realistically, no, they won't use lethal force if they can avoid it because it would be a big scandal. What they'll do is they'll arrest everyone that actually does. No matter, even if there's 1 million people, they're not going to get very far. And they will use deadly force if they need to protect government secrets. And those government secrets are not aliens, they're war secrets, they're, latest technology for aircraft or bombs or God knows what, and they will shoot people because it is illegal to run onto a government base. It's dumb, and everybody who's going to do it is dumb, but I don't think many people are. I think a lot of people are pretending they will, but they won't do it. They won't even show up. Oh, Christ. Which Fallout games do I have? I have Fallout 3, and I have Fallout New Vegas. Those are the only ones that I have. Actually, I might have, the very original Fallout, but I don't think I've ever played it. I think I just own it in my Steam library. I like New Vegas. I played it quite a bit for streams. But it's been a while since people have requested it, and it seems like it's kind of fallen off. But it is the stream that McNeo donated $1,000 to me to buy a computer, which is awesome because now I have a good computer and I can do better streams. But one ex-personnel from Area 51 recently was on Joe Rogan's show. Pretty interesting. There is a guy who was doing Area 51 like interviews and talking about alien aircraft, but the dude is clearly like he's obviously making it up for fame. Can't stop us all. 3,000 bullets a minute. Yeah. They don't need to stop all of you. They need to kill a few people, and the rest of them won't even be worth it. It's not worth losing your life over a meme, or even over the possibility that there may be alien aircraft. It's ridiculous. If I have Gary's mod, we could all play Prop Hunt. I do have Gary's mod. I have played Prop Hunt. I've done videos of Prop Hunt. Me and a work friend, Jaden, played it a while back. Prop Hunt's fun. So is Trouble in Terrorist Town. We could do those. I'd be fine with that. What's my PC specs? I don't know. It's in the other room. I can look it up, but it's got a it's got a solid state drive. I think it's 256, but it might be 512. It's got, I think, 16 gigs of RAM, which I can upgrade. It's got a i7 processor. It's good. It runs pretty much every game that I need at pretty much the best video settings. It will eventually become obsolete, but I've been running the same computer for almost 10 years before that. Good for you, Doc. You made it through the chat. Yep, I'm at the bottom. I made it. TTT. US has working aimbot and entity speed installed on every soldier. That's what you get. You raid Area 51, you get all the way in, and it's just a bunch of guys playing fucking 2B2T. Ridiculous. Oh, God. Okay, I've got about, I don't know, 20 minutes left. If you guys have any burning questions you'd like me to talk about, please let me know. Oh, I've been talking nonstop for well over an hour. I'm exhausted. This fucking tobacco. This is a cigar. I'm sleepy. Haley's very sick and needs a nap. Hang out later. Good night, Haley. Take a good nap. I might take a nap, too. How am I feeling today? How hangover suck? I had a real bad hangover at 6. I took some ibuprofen, drank a lot of water, felt better by 10. It was a lot later than I wanted to sleep, but holy shit, it feels good to sleep in once in a while. Once in a lifetime, really. I'm getting hungry, though. I know it's too early for dinner, but I feel like my lunch... I had a decent lunch, but I'm just starving. I want to eat all the time. It's probably being fat. Considered playing the original Warcraft games. They're really good strategy games. I actually did that for a stream once, too. I don't think anyone showed up, or like 1 or 2 people did, but for Warcraft's 20th anniversary, I think I played a original Warcraft live stream for like an hour or 2. And it's uploaded. It's on the channel. Doctrzombie, Warcraft. You probably find it. It was fun. Warcraft 2 was also a very good game. I spent many, many, many hours playing that. StarCraft, many hours playing that. Warcraft 3, many hours playing that. They're good. Cheap, decent laptop that can run Minecraft at good FPS. I have no idea. You're asking the wrong guy. Sorry, little junior. I don't know. Show bobs. Show your boobs. No, I'm not showing my boobies. What do I think about cashmere? Isn't that a type of sweater? Is weed legal in my state? No, it is not. If it is, I would definitely have tried it. What would I do if if I find out my kids do it? If it's not legal, I'd be very upset because I've talked to them about drugs and I've talked to them about how I will kick them out of my house if they do drugs. So if one of them did weed, I would be very upset and I'd probably get them counseling. I probably wouldn't throw them out, even though I've threatened to. But I mean, we've thought about it. We talked about it. If our kids ever gotten involved in stuff that we don't agree with. You gotta be hard. You gotta cut them off. You can't support them. You can't financially support someone who is doing illegal things. So I don't think it's gonna happen, honestly. If they do weed, it'll probably be legal by the time they do it. Again, I feel like weed is going to be legalized across all 50 states in our lifetime. What kind of music do I listen to? I mentioned earlier I listen to Nightcore. I also listen to some pop. I don't listen to music much as a way to relax. I like to play video games. But if I have to listen to music, I usually listen to Nightcore. When I'm at work and I'm trying to focus, I'll put my headphones on, I'll play Nightcore, and just try to like ignore everything around me and focus on what I'm doing. But sometimes, because my work earphones are really shitty, people will realize that I'm listening to music and they'll interrupt me. They'll be like, "What are you listening to? What is that shit?" So just because I've told my kids that they're not allowed to do drugs doesn't mean they won't try to get away with it. Especially the oldest one. He thinks he's the boss, so he don't care what I say. Oh, there goes those fucking hummingbirds again. Here, I'll pick up this thing. I don't know, because I'm not looking at the screen. Maybe if I look at this here. Hold on, give me a second. This laptop is kind of shitty. Yeah, there you go. So you can kind of see that little red thing there. That's my hummingbird feeder. I'll keep talking, but I'll hold it there. They're bound to come by like every 2 minutes. One of them flies over. So maybe you'll see one. Let me go ahead and pull up our chat here so I can continue talking. Nobody in my house watches anime. Nobody. And even I have only watched a teeny tiny bit of anime. I watched FLCL, and I made some anime music videos about FLCL way back in college. But I don't really like anime per se. But again, I don't like TV, so it's not really saying that I don't like anime specifically. I don't watch TV. People with hermetic lifestyles like you were talking about in the Rusher and the Anarchy podcast, do you just like young people that follow hermetic lifestyles? You mean like in real life? No, not really. I mean, if they're begging for money, that's what I don't like. I don't like when people harass me when I'm in the fucking parking lot of Walmart asking for money. Like, I'm here at Walmart buying food. Obviously, I don't have a lot of money if I need to rely on Walmart for my shit. Wait until the teenage years, they're sneaky as hell. Yeah, we're worried about that so much, especially with the oldest. He's already acting like a teenager and is proud to be saying, "Oh, I'm almost a teenager, I'm almost a teenager." I'm like, fuck you. That's such an antithesis to what I was at his age. Like, I didn't care. My parents are like, "You're turning 16, are you gonna have a birthday party?" I'm like, do I have to? Can we just eat pizza in the basement? Like, I don't really give a shit. "You're graduating high school. Oh, you gonna have a graduation party?" No, I don't really want one. Just invite some friends over, have some bugles and pizza and canned cheese and play Smash Brothers. Like, I didn't care. It wasn't a big deal. I was older than that, mentally, you know? So all that shit didn't mean anything to me. Doc lives in Narnia. Jump into the pool right now. Yeah, there's a swimming pool right over there. Believe me, I've thought about it, but I'm not going to live stream me swimming. That's just gross. Nobody wants to see that. I've got a sweater of hair on my whole body. And man tits that I rub when I win video games. Get your kids to watch Naruto, they'll become good, hardworking kids. That doesn't seem accurate. Do you think they live a life void of meaning? No, they're kids. I mean, they actually are very good for kids. They have hobbies, they have likes and desires. They're all unique and special and awesome. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. So I talked about how I'm snipped, how I've had a vasectomy. I don't know, that I kind of just missed it because I was looking in a different direction, but I think a hummingbird just sit by the feeder. But I also mentioned that we might raise another child, and what I really think is we might foster. When we're older, when we have more money, when we have more space, we've talked about fostering or even adopting a girl since we didn't have one of our own. There went one. But it's not in the cards right now because we can't afford it. Even though when you do foster, you get government grants, we don't think that they're enough to actually raise a child the way we would raise a child. So we have to wait for our kids to actually be like in high school and or have jobs of their own and support themselves, or possibly get more money. Either me getting a better job, or a significant raise, or my wife getting a job. And once the kids are no longer in preschool, she'll probably go back to work when they're in kindergarten. But it won't be my kid. It will be a foster kid or adopted kid. Delco says, you should do Minecraft IRL. You have a garden. I wanted to do a vegetable garden for the last 2 years that we've lived here, but it's expensive and also requires a lot of free time, neither of which I have. So what you see down there, I'm not really sure where I'm pointing. Hold on a second. Give me a second. Yeah, so you can kind of see I have a very large yard. It goes way back to those trees back there in the corner. And this is just my backyard. But I wanted to do a vegetable garden, and it has to be close enough to where I'm sitting now that a hose could reach, so I could actually water the damn thing. So it would probably be straight ahead of me in there, in that little like area along the fence. I would rip up all the garbage that's there. It's all weeds and shit anyway, and replace it with vegetables. Maybe rip down all these trees and replace them as well. Some of them are dying anyway. I had plans, man. I had like a plan listed up, all the different vegetables that I wanted to grow, but it's expensive and it requires a lot of time, and I don't have enough. No matter what, there will be a time when they want to try stuff, they get sneaky, and I hope they will realize it's not good and stop doing it. Yeah, I mean, I never felt the need to try weed, and I had the opportunity. I mean, I've been in the room while people were hitting a bong, and I've never even asked. I know from experience we got over it before anyone found out and stopped. Well, good for you, Craze. That's what I'm hoping my kids will know better, and they'll be able to stop themselves instead of me fucking leaning over their shoulder always. I can really tell how your neuroplasty is. Neuroplasty? Because you keep on talking about the same stuff you talked about in the Anarchy podcast. Hashtag free the nipple. Ancient PS2 games, nice. Eldest is 20 now. The teenage years sucked. I figured I'd have an upper hand being a sneaky ass myself. Did not go as planned. Sorry, Amber. Take up new activities to make yourself more open to new ideas. I'm 20 now, and I'm a lazy dewdropper. Those trees are massive. That's really cool. These are small trees. These are small. I've got some... Oh, those over there are pretty big. Yeah, and they're not on my property. They're on the neighbor's property. They hang over my property, but... yeah... Most of the trees that are actually on my property are pretty small. That one over there is pretty big. And I think it's the same species as all the other ones. They have the same flowers and leaf structure and shit. But these here are dying, and I'll probably cut them down and replace them soon. But they're not that big. My backyard is huge compared to my yard, and I have a decent sized backyard. Yeah, I think it's a half an acre or a third of an acre altogether. We wanted some space because we had dogs and kids, and we wanted them to be outside, but... you can do raised gardens. Those are a lot easier to maintain. Yeah, we would. We would get rid of all this shit, and then we would put a raised garden. In fact, you might even be able to notice I've got some wood over there that I collected when I took apart a bench that was kind of getting infested by wasps and carpenter bees. So I took the bench apart, and I kept the wood, thinking that eventually I might use them to make a raised garden bed. Probably over the winter, because you want to get it done early before, like, March, when things actually start growing really well. I'm 18. All I want to do is sleep, eat, and play Minecraft. Yeah, exactly. I didn't do any sneaky stuff because I was playing fucking video games all the time. My parents knew where I was. I was in the fucking living room. I didn't shower for a week, but I was there. Guys are posting in their Snap that they're into school and stuff, and I'm right here chilling in my bed with a Snapple and popcorn chips. Bongs are quite bad, LMAO. Everyone's addicted to Minecraft, trying to get the next fix. Dan, that's a beautiful place you got there. Thanks, dude. Thanks a lot. No, I like it. I wish I could do more with it. Right now it's mostly grass and weeds and me mowing it every couple of days. In fact, you can probably tell it needs to be mowed. There's a bunch of weeds poking up. I plan to do that tomorrow. One of the reasons I can't do a stream is because I need to mow the damn lawn. And I've got a riding lawn mower now, but last year I didn't have one. It took me 3 hours to mow the fucking lawn. I would break it up and do like one half in day one and one half in day two. Now it takes about an hour and a half, which is better. And also I'm riding, so I'm not exhausted and dying by the time I'm done. But it can get fucking hot, too. Hot and humid. I mean, I can't do it today, obviously, because A, I'm streaming, and B, it just rained. So everything's fucking wet. But hopefully I can do it tomorrow. Weed made you more mentally mature. My father did weed in college, and when I was younger, I was really against it. Like, religiously, fanatically against all drugs. Such that when I found out a friend did weed, I was like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I don't want to be your friend. And my dad was like, it's just weed. It's not a big deal. He's like, I smoked it in college. I wanted you to smoke it, but I grew up and realized it wasn't that good for me. And it just made me lazy. And I was like, okay, but, you know, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I just don't like this person. They were kind of a shitty friend anyway. When I used to live on the East Coast up in PA, we had 3 acres of land, and it's a bitch to keep the grass cut, but plenty of private space for the and space for the dogs. Yeah, I would like to get a hunting property down here, but again, I have no money, and it's expensive. And I have a hunting property in Pennsylvania, which is mostly woodland. So we don't really keep anything. You know, we have a small plot of grass, a cabin on it that we keep the grass cut. We go up and cut it like once a year, once in the summer. The rest of it's woods, and we have properties. But it has not yet happened. We're just waiting. All right. Do I have guns? Yes, I do. I have several rifles and a shotgun or two. Having guns is a right that I have as an American, and they're hunting weapons. I don't have any pistols. I don't have any, AK-47s or anything crazy like that. But I have several guns, and they're all locked up. And my kids don't know where they are, and if they did, they wouldn't be able to shoot them anyway because the ammunition and the guns are different places, and they're all locked up, and they got trigger locks and shit. But I do have several guns. Most of them I've inherited from my father when he died. But I do have a 308 Winchester that I've used to kill many, many deer. And my father had, and I now have, a 300 Savage, a rifle it was my grandfather's rifle. So basically it's an antique at this point, and it has killed many, 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 many deer. That one I will never get rid of. That is my, an ancient ancestral weapon. All right. It's 3:55. I'm going to end the stream real soon. I did not do target practice, no. I don't. I want to set up a archery range or a BB gun range in my yard because it's big enough, but I definitely don't want my kids accidentally shooting into a neighbor's yard because that would be a fucking disaster. But I need hay bales for that, and I don't have any. And they are like $6 to $10 per hay bale depending on when and where you get them from. So it's like, no. But I'll try to set up something for the kids at some point so that they can do BB gun and archery stuff in my backyard because they love it, and they're good at it. Like I said, my middle son scored a perfect 100 on his BB gun test. All right. Whee! That is enough. It's almost 4 o'clock. I'm going to take a break. I'll probably be back at 6 p.m. tonight to do a stream of whatever it is you guys want to see. Maybe we'll do multiple games. Maybe we'll split it, do 2-3 games. Maybe we'll just play one game for like 4 or 5 hours. I don't know. I played Sea of Thieves for like fucking 10 hours yesterday. It was amazing. But I'm not going to do Sea of Thieves tonight. That's the one thing I won't do. It was good. Don't get me wrong. Had a great time, but I think I'm burnt out on Sea of Thieves for a couple days. Thanks for joining me today. Thanks for smoking a cigar, drinking some bourbon, sitting out in my backyard and chit-chatting. It was actually really good. It went a lot better than I thought it would, honestly. But I'm thirsty. I'm hungry. I got to decide if I'm going to run out and get some food with money that I don't have, or if I'm going to find something in the house to make like I promised my wife I would do. I feel like I'm leaning heavily toward that making something, but I didn't get anything out to defrost, so all I've got is like frozen chicken. I may go to Arby's. I'm thinking Arby's. Yeah. Ooh. We'll see. Guys, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.